As Aaron Boone tells us all after each and every Yankee loss, especially over the last, 5-6 weeks, everything is still in front of the Bombers. And yes, that is true. The MLB trade deadline comes your way July 30th at 6 p.m., right? We'll see exactly how aggressive, and I've said it before, Brian Cashman and company are going to have to be super aggressive come the MLB trade deadline. But here's the problem with the statement by Nestor Cortez. The problem is, and I understand you're blessed to be a Yankee. I understand it was a long road for Nestor Cortez. But the idea now that everyone wants to be a Yankee and everyone talks down about the Yankees, yes, everybody was talking down about the Yankees because the Yankees have stunk as of late. And the lean is negative because the Yankees haven't won a World Series since 2009. The Yankees, you know how much money the Yankees made last year in 2023? You know how much money as an organization the Yankees made? The Yankees last year, if memory serves me correct, and I'm pretty good, $654 million. The Yankees as an organization last year made $654 million. You know what their payroll this year is? $313 million. You know what they're spending on players, as Hal tells you, outside the MLB offices a couple weeks ago, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, when the Yankees were actually playing well, before they went into their tailspin to close out the first half pre-All-Star break, when he tells you that this is not sustainable, after he hops on the Jack Curry podcast telling you that they want to negotiate with Juan Soto during the course of the season because they want Juan Soto to be a Yankee for life, but he tells you that the payroll of $313 million is not sustainable. But if you do the math, the Yankees, based on profits, they're investing, but they're not going above and beyond. And I'm not even asking. Listen, you spent $313 million of your Brian Cashman. You should have a playoff team. You should have a contending team. But the Yankees are, what the Yankees have been really successful at is printing money. That's what they've been really successful at. But here's the message. And I don't mean to just pick on Nestor, but he's the one that brings it to him because he hops on social media and issues a dopey statement a couple nights ago, right? Nestor, who's been great at home, terrible on the road, right? But here's the issue we have with Nestor Cortez. The issue is this. The goal is winning. Not being in contention, not contending. The goal is winning. That is what is defined. That is what has made the Yankees different than every other team in Major League Baseball. That is what has defined the Yankees, defined the pinstripes, defined the road grays. That is what has made the Bombers the Bombers. Is that we are different. The Yankees now. I hate when people use the term we when they're talking about teams that they root for. The Yankees now are different because that is their goal, and anything less is a failure. Now, just like the Yankees are no longer sitting in first place in the American League East, just like you have concerns about where this lineup is, the Yankees now view it one and the same. And that's where my problem is. The goals should not change. It should not be a case based on what the Arizona Diamondbacks did last year and their miraculous run, where you get into the playoffs, you roll the dice, cross the fingers, hope for the best for the postseason. Build for the regular season, and then hope for the best, because you never know what's going to happen come the MLB playoffs. And I get not every team that's dominant during the course of the regular season goes out there and wins the respective title in their sport. We just saw with the Rangers, right? They won 55 games, a President's Trophy in the National Hockey League. What did they do? They lost to the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals. I get it. We all watched it. We've watched the Dodgers have dominant regular seasons. We watched the Mets a couple years ago. They folded like a cheap suit down in Atlanta against the Braves, and then they lost to the Padres in the wild card round. We've seen it with the Yankees. But if the idea now is that, and I understand you're happy to be a Yankee. I get it. You like pitching in the Bronx. I understand that you love the fan base, the energy, the crowd, the packed houses at Yankee Stadium. But don't give me the nonsense about the fact that the Yankees are contenders each and every year. They're spending $313 million on their payroll. If they're not contending, that's a problem. The goal is winning. That's what the message needs to be. And if you can't take a little criticism when you go 8-18 through the course of 26 games, when you can't take a little bit of criticism and critique, or you feel like the fan base is leaning negative, because we've seen this before. We saw it in 2022. If you can't take a little criticism when this team was built to be great this season and they got off to an unbelievable start. They looked like an absolute wagon to begin the year, and then the wheels came off. And you have to hop on, because I read that tweet on Tuesday night, or yesterday afternoon I saw the tweet, right? When I see that tweet yesterday afternoon, I'm thinking to myself, what is Nestor Cortez reacting to while he's watching the All-Star game? That bore fest of a game that we watched Tuesday night down in Arlington, what exactly is Nestor Cortez reacting to? And the mindset has got to be different, because here's the deal. You know what separated the greats in this town, the greats that put on the uniform? The understanding that it was win, that will define you. Not what you do in the regular season, not contending for a playoff spot, now not making a wild card round, not having a playoff game at Yankee Stadium, but being the last team standing when the playoffs are done. That's what defines you. Tired of hearing about the Dopey process, tired of hearing about the way the decisions were made, how, the rationalization, the reasoning, if it was sound, you got to live with the results. Nonsense. Cashman has spent money hand over fist year after year after year. The pressure is on this season because, you know what? You have no idea. Even though Soto and Judge love playing together, you have no idea where Juan Soto's going to end up after the end of the season. But I got to see a Yankee pitcher go out there on social media, talk about the fact that everybody wants to be a Yankee. Everybody that talks down about the Yankees, while he's blessed to be happy to be in contention year in and year out. Save that nonsense. That's the differentiation. You know what the difference between the 2024 New York Yankees and the 98 Yankees, the 99 Yankees, is that Dopey statement by Cortez. Stay off social media. I mean, it was just silly. I asked Hoff when I came in today, I go, is this actually his Twitter account? Did he actually tweet this? Because nobody's paying for the blue check mark anymore, so you have no idea. He didn't take it down. He didn't go out there and tell you he was hacked. He actually, while he was watching that All-Star game, decided to tweet that out. That's the frustrating aspect. That's where you get to a point as a Yankee fan where you're like, I want to believe. I want to think that this team has got a shot to win a World Series this year. And then I see one of their, and he's not their top starter. I'm not going to paint it like that, obviously. But you see one of their starting pitchers, a guy that gets the ball every fifth day, as long as he stays healthy, going out there and talking about the fact that he's happy to be in contention, proud to be a Yankee, and we're contenders every year. Nestor, it's about winning. When you spend the kind of money the Yankees spend, when you make the kind of money the Yankees make, if you're not contending every single year, then people are going to lose their jobs. Not if Hal owns the team, but in more often cases, people are going to lose their jobs. 888-808-1019, that is your number to call. I want to thank our friends at Town Fair Tire. They remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires you trust from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Let's head out to Keyport. It's Alex. It's the fan. What's going on, Alex?
Yeah, Moose. Number one, I don't have your position today because, Thursday after the All-Star break, it's really, really hard to figure out a topic. But this whole thing that Nestor's putting this out, it's not going to change anybody's mind on it.
It's a Dopey statement. That's the point.
Yeah, but, I don't think it's changing anybody's mind. And
changing everybody's mind about what? Just zip the lip. There's no need to make the statement. There's no need to hop on social media. This is not people being jealous of the Yankees. If you can't take the criticism when the team goes 8-18, I don't know what to tell you. It's a results-oriented business. It's about the mindset of the player. That's the bigger picture aspect of it. It's about the mindset of the player. That is a different mindset than what we saw from the Yankees 25, 26 years ago. It just is. And if you've softened as a fan base, if the Yankee fan is softened as a fan base to where, hey, yeah, you know what? It's great. I love the fact that the Yankees win 90-plus games. They don't bottom out. They're not having 0.0 television ratings on Yes. They're, people are still packing the ballpark. You're paying $50 to park the car. Go out there, eat some sushi, go get a steak sandwich, whatever it might be, at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, and you're A-okay with it. And whatever happens in the postseason, well, you know what? Honestly, that is completely different than where the Yankee fan base was 20, 25 years ago. It just is. That's the point. It's not a matter of changing somebody's mind. It's not a matter of all of a sudden look at it and be like, hey, you know what? Good opinion by Nestor Cortez. I wholeheartedly agree. No. That one infuriated me. And listen, I want to believe in the Yankees. I was talking to Hoff yesterday after the show, and I want to be like, yeah, you know what? Me, Mr. Yankees are going to win the World Series this year. Yankees are going to, everything's in front of them. You know what? Everything's in front of them. Boom's right. Mr. Positivity. Let's be a positive Pete on a Thursday. Giancarlo Stanton will be back sooner rather than later, although, as we heard from Boone yesterday, he's not going to be back tomorrow night when the Tampa Bay Rays are in town, but he'll be back soon. He's been out since June the 23rd. He told me it's going to be a month. The clock is ticking. We're getting closer to that month. We'll see what Carlos Rodon, what addition he is. Marcus Stroman, better first half pitcher than he is in the second half. Maybe he'll turn it around. Everybody telling me, oh, you know what? Don't look at Stroman's analytics and his stats at Yankee Stadium. Those are a small indicator. No. Marcus Stroman's not a Yankee Stadium pitcher, but everyone was telling me when he signed him, you know what, he's going to be great. No, he's not. He's not great at Yankee Stadium. You know why? Because he gives up a lot of fly balls, and the place is a bandbox. Then we got Clay Holmes, who's an all-star, who got 6 blown saves in the first half. And the entire offense is Judge and Soto, and Soto might be leaving after the season. And then I gotta see Nestor Cortez hop on X and tell me that he's happy to be in contention every single year when the team's payroll is $313 million, and Hal is educating the Yankee fan, telling us that it's not sustainable, but he wants to sign Soto to a long-term deal. Make it make sense. And a team that hasn't won a World Series since 2009. Ivan, Houston. Oh, Ivan, you're back. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Hey, what's up, Mark? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
All right, so with the Soto thing, I just want to point out.
By the way, Ivan,
yeah.
I didn't say the other day that the Mets were better than the Yankees. I just want to let you know.
No, you went on a rant after that. Hey, believe me, I'm not going to argue on that one. You went on a 5-minute rant after you hung up on me, and I was like, maybe I heard wrong. We'll just leave that one there. But first I want to say with the Soto that I think the Yankees have like about $100 million coming off the books next year.
Yes.
So there is no reason why they can't sign Soto. If they don't sign Soto, it's because he doesn't want to sign him. That's the way I look at that. What I will say, I get what you're saying a little bit. Like I'm saying, I get that they haven't won, but the MLB has made it really hard to win lately. They've added the extra teams. They've done a lot of things, and then. What I will say is, how come they're the only team that gets this? They're the only team in New York that's given us something to watch every year for the last 30 years.
Ivan, I'm not telling you that they've bottomed out. I agree with you. But it's been frustrating when it's different. I understand that they've given you something to watch, but the amount of money that has been spent, and let's be honest, some of the evaluations they've made on players,
I will not argue that.
Well, okay. I mean, what's to argue?
Yeah.
They haven't spent a lot of money on payroll?
Well, I'm going to say, but hold on. So let's do a comparison real quick, right? You said with the money they spend, they're expected to win the division or make the playoffs, right?
Well, you spent $313. If I spent $313 million, if Hal Steinbrenner goes today, I'm going to issue a statement. Mark Malusis is the GM of the Yankees, right? And that's not happening. But if that ever happened, and you give me the expenditure of $300 million to spend on a payroll, I think I could build a team that would be a contender.
So let me ask you a question. How come you don't hold that same energy with the Mets who spend $300 million?
Well, but it's
3 games over 500.
I understand that. The Mets have got
right?
but the Mets listen, I've held Cohen accountable. I really have. The Mets came into this year though, but Ivan, the Mets came into this year and had different expectations. No, different expectations. They're also got a lot of talent. Hold on a second, Ivan. They got a ton of dead. Ivan, they've got a ton of dead money.
They're changing the goalpost.
I'm not changing the goalpost. They paid to have Scherzer go away. They paid to have Verlander go away. The Yankees haven't done that.
Mike, that's not the first team that's ever done that. You know, the Yankees paid for Ellsbury to stay on the injured list for the last 5 years. Many teams have paid players to go away. Again, you stuck with payroll. That's all I'm saying. If you stick to the payroll concept, then have the same energy. But for some reason on WMETS, the Yankees get destroyed, and they're the second most wins in baseball.
Ivan, but is that really is really the amount of wins or how the team looks? Like, are you going to look back on this year? Yankees fall short. They say they get beat by the Astros, who love to treat them like the redheaded stepchild every single October, right? Say Altuve once again hits another walk-off home run, this time off Clay Holmes instead of Aroldis Chapman. Don't have to worry about the buzzer. Don't have to worry about them banging on garbage cans, anything like that. But say if they lose once again, the Astros have no fear of the Yankees. What are you going to say then? Well, listen, great regular season. That's really it. That's what defines the Yankee baseball right now is what they do. And I understand that you got to win games in the regular season to get to October, but the Yankees as an organization is different. They were defined by what they did in October. That's where the heroes were born. The legends were born. The iconic Yankees were born. Those great memories that you had. The big home run by Bernie Williams. Burn, baby, burn. The great call by John Sterling. Big home run by Tino. You know, big at-bats that you got by Paul O'Neill, Derek Jeter. Big-time pitching. 96. I was there, Game 6 against the Atlanta Braves, sitting there with my older sister, Kim, out in right field. Never heard that place rock the way it did in 96. I went to Yankee Stadium, you know, in the 80s, and the Yankees weren't a terrible baseball team. They had Mattingly and they had Winfield, Henderson. I remember when they brought in Jack Clark, making the trade, and they made some terrible, dopey trades. Train away Ricky for Eric Plunk. And a couple other players, Luis Polonia. I forget the other. I think it was Dave Cataray was the other reliever that came in. I think.